The most expensive mistake in the used GMC market isn't buying the wrong truck. It's searching for the right one the same way everyone else does. Crew cab, 5.3, four-wheel drive. Every buyer types the same filters, every buyer sees the same results, and every buyer pays the inflated price that comes with being in the same line as everyone else. 5 GMC trucks, same powertrains, same towing, same frames, are priced thousands less right now because nobody's typing their names into the search bar. One costs less than a Camry. One tows 14,000 pounds for half the price of a diesel, and the last one gives you $70,000 worth of luxury for 15. Nobody's searching for these. That's exactly why they're gold mines. The first gold mine is the truck that every Sierra owner looks down on. And that attitude is exactly why the price is so low. The second generation GMC Canyon, 2015 through 2022, four-wheel drive with the 3.6 V6. Here's the reputation. It's not a real truck, too small, not enough towing, can't haul anything serious. Might as well save up and buy a full size. That's what the forums say. That's what the truck meets say. And that's why clean four-wheel drive Canyons with the V6 are sitting on lots right now for $16,000 to $22,000, while equivalent Sierras with the 5.3 start at $22,000 and climb past $30,000. But let me ask a question that most buyers never stop to think about. What do you actually tow? Because the Canyon with the 3.6 V6 tows 7,000 pounds, 7,000. That covers 90% of recreational towing. Base boats, jet skis, small campers, utility trailers. If you're not pulling a fifth wheel or a 30-foot RV, the Canyon does everything the Sierra does for the loads most people actually carry. And it does it for less money in every category. Fuel, 18 to 25 miles per gallon versus 14 to 18 on a Sierra. Insurance, significantly cheaper because the vehicle weighs less and costs less to replace. Registration, cheaper in states that charge by weight. Maintenance, smaller brakes, smaller tires, lower fluid volumes. Every cost is lower. Here's the thing, there's a gold mine inside this gold mine. The Canyon with the 2.8 Duramax diesel, the Isuzu-sourced 4-cylinder turbo diesel, tows 7,600 pounds and gets 22 city, 30 highway. That's commercial truck reliability in a mid-size package. Diesel Canyons run $20,000 to $28,000 on the used market, but the fuel savings alone are dramatic if you're putting on highway miles. The Canyon isn't a compromise. It's the right tool for the job that most truck owners actually have. The Sierra does more. The Canyon does enough. And enough for $16,000 is a gold mine. The truck that does everything most Sierra owners actually need for the price of a used Camry. And this next one is even more overlooked because people searching for trucks never type its name. The second gold mine sits in the strangest gap in the used market. People shopping for trucks search Sierra. People shopping for SUVs search Tahoe or 4Runner. Nobody searches Yukon XL. And that gap in demand is your opportunity. The GMT900 Yukon XL. 2007 through 2014, four-wheel drive. Same powertrain as the Sierra 1500. 5.3 Gen 4 V8, 6L80 transmission. Same frame, same axles, same towing capacity. 7,900 to 8,100 pounds, depending on rear axle ratio. The Yukon XL is mechanically a Sierra with an enclosed cargo area and a third-row seat. That's it. That's the difference. But the price gap is real. Clean four-wheel drive Yukon XLs in this generation, $8,000 to $16,000. The equivalent Sierra 1500 crew cab four-wheel drive in the same generation, $12,000 to $20,000. The Yukon XL is often cheaper, not because it's worse, because fewer people are searching for it. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would a truck buyer want an SUV? Here's the answer that changes the math for anyone with a family. Hook up a trailer to a crew cab Sierra, and your bed is full of hitch hardware. Your backseat has the kids, and your cargo space is zero. Hook up the same trailer to a Yukon XL, and your kids are in the second row. Your gear is in the third row area, and you still have more enclosed cargo space than the Sierra ever had. For families who tow, boats, campers, anything, the Yukon XL is the superior towing platform because you're not choosing between people and cargo. And the depreciation math is even better. These trucks have hit the floor. GMT 900 Yukon XLs aren't going lower. They've bottomed out. Meanwhile, Sierra crew cabs in the same generation are climbing because truck demand keeps pushing prices up. You're buying at the bottom of a curve that's only going one direction. And here's a trick that Yukon XL owners have figured out. Remove the third row seat, 4 bolts, 15 minutes, and you've got a flat cargo area behind the second row that's bigger than most truck beds. Fold the second row and you're looking at over 100 cubic feet of enclosed, weather-sealed cargo space. Plywood sheets, furniture, anything you'd normally need a truck bed for. It fits inside, locked, dry, and out of sight. That's a capability no Sierra can match. Same engine, same frame, same towing, more space, less money, and nobody's searching for it. Stay with me here. The next goldmine is hiding in a place every buyer scrolls right past, and the price difference is the biggest on this entire list. The third goldmine is the cab configuration that nobody wants, and that's exactly why the math is so good. The Sierra 1500 in regular cab or double cab, any generation, any powertrain, the truck that gets filtered out of every search because it doesn't have 4 full doors. Here's the used market reality. A 2015 Sierra crew cab 4-wheel drive with the 5.3, $22,000 to $28,000. Same truck, same year, same engine, double cab, $18,000 to $23,000. Same truck, regular cab, $14,000 to $18,000. That's up to $10,000 in savings on a truck that has the identical frame, the identical powertrain, and the identical towing capacity. The only difference is the cab behind the front seats. And I get it. Crew cab is king. Families need the back seat. Resale is better. The market has spoken, and it wants 4 doors. All true. But let me be clear about who this goldmine is for. Single owners, couples without kids, anyone using the truck primarily for work, fleet buyers, and anyone who values what the truck can do over what the truck looks like parked at a restaurant. For those buyers, and there are millions of them, the crew cab premium is money left on the table. The regular cab long bed is the ultimate work truck configuration, and commercial buyers have known this for decades. 8-foot bed, maximum payload, lowest purchase price. The extended cab, what GM calls the double cab, gives you that rear area as enclosed, lockable storage. Tools, gear, valuables, secured behind the front seats, weather-sealed out of sight. That's not wasted space, that's a built-in vault. And it gets worse for crew cab buyers. The crew cab short bed, the most popular configuration in America, has a 5'8" bed. A regular cab with the 8-foot bed has 40% more cargo length. If you're actually using the truck as a truck, hauling materials, loading equipment, carrying anything longer than a bicycle, the regular cab does the job better. Same engine, same frame, up to $10,000 less. The only difference is a door nobody in the truck uses anyway. Quick thing, if this is making you rethink your next search, hit subscribe. Every week, I break down the stuff that saves GMC owners real money. Not theory, not opinions, just the math that most people never run. That's the whole channel. Now, this next goldmine involves the biggest price gap in the entire GM truck market. And it exists because of one word. The fourth goldmine is the 3/4-ton truck that gets scrolled past by every buyer who types one word into the search bar: diesel. The Sierra or Silverado 2500 HD with the 6.0 Vortec gas V8. When people shop for a heavy-duty truck, they search for Duramax. Diesel demand is enormous. The 6.6 Duramax has a following, a reputation, and a price tag that reflects both. A used 2007 through 2014 2500 HD with the Duramax, $25,000 to $35,000. The identical truck with the 6.0 gas V8, $12,000 to $20,000. That's a $10,000 to $15,000 gap. Same frame, same axles, same brakes, same cab. The only difference is under the hood. Let me be very direct about what the 6.0 Vortec actually is. The L96 version makes 360 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque. Cast iron block. No AFM. This engine doesn't deactivate cylinders. It's the same LS architecture as the 5.3, but with a larger bore and heavier-duty rotating assembly. These engines routinely hit 300,000 miles on basic maintenance, oil changes, plugs, and the occasional water pump. That's the ownership experience. Here's what to look for when you're shopping for one. Check the exhaust manifold bolts. They're known to break on the 6.0, especially on the passenger side. A broken bolt causes an exhaust tick at cold start that goes away when the engine warms up. It's not catastrophic, but it's a negotiating point. Repair runs $300 to $600. Listen for knock sensor codes. P0332 is common and usually means the knock sensor or harness under the intake needs replacing. It's a $500 job, but doesn't affect reliability. And check oil consumption. A quart every 3,000 to 4,000 miles is normal on high-mileage 6.0s. More than a quart every 2,000 means the valve seals are going, and that's a bigger job. Towing capacity, 13,000 to 14,500 pounds, depending on configuration. That's more than a Sierra 1500. That covers car haulers, large boats, mid-size RVs, and construction trailers. For the vast majority of heavy towing needs, the gas 2500 does the job. Here's the math that kills the diesel argument. A Duramax gets roughly 2 to 3 more miles per gallon than the gas 6.0 under towing load. At current diesel fuel prices, which are higher per gallon than regular, the actual fuel cost savings are minimal. Now take that $10,000 to $15,000 purchase price premium and divide it by the annual fuel savings. You'd have to drive 300,000 miles or more to break even on fuel alone. Most buyers won't get there, and that doesn't even count the maintenance delta. Diesel oil changes at $120 to $150 versus $60 to $80 for gas. No DEF, no DPF, no EGR problems, no Regan cycles, no emissions equipment failures that cost $2,000 to $4,000 to repair. I'm not done yet. Parts availability on the 6.0 Vortec is limitless. Any mechanic can work on it. Any parts store stocks what you need. The Duramax requires diesel-specific shops, diesel-specific parts, and diesel-specific pricing for everything. Diesel buyers are paying $10,000 to $15,000 more to tow the same trailer. The gas 2500 is the truck they should have bought, and the last gold mine on this list is the one that makes the least sense on paper, until you do the depreciation math. Then, it makes the most sense of any truck here. The fifth and final gold mine is the truck that scares used buyers the most and rewards them the most when they stop being afraid. The GMT900 Yukon Denali, or Sierra Denali, 2007 through 2014. Here's the fear. It's a luxury truck with 150,000 miles. Everything expensive is about to break. The 6.2 V8 is a gas guzzler. Magnetic ride suspension is a ticking time bomb. The repair bills will eat whatever you saved on the purchase price. That's the perception. That's why Denalis in this generation sit on lots longer than base models. That's why a 2012 Yukon Denali with 120,000 miles sells for $13,000 to $18,000. Roughly the same as a base Sierra SLE with similar miles. Let me tell you what, $13,000 to $18,000 actually buys you the 6.2 L92 V8, 403 horsepower, magnetic ride suspension that adapts to road conditions in real time, heated and cooled leather seats, Bose audio, navigation, 20-inch wheels, power folding mirrors, auto-dimming everything, a level of fit and finish that costs $65,000 to $75,000 on a new Denali today. You're buying $70,000 worth of truck for $15,000. Now let's address the fear. Magnetic ride shocks do fail, typically between 80 and 120,000 miles. Replacement with the factory units is expensive, $1,000 to $1,500 for the set installed. But here's what nobody tells you. You can replace them with conventional Bilstein 5100s for $600 to $1,000 total. You lose the adaptive damping. You gain a shock that's better for leveled or lifted trucks, lasts longer, and costs less. Most Denali owners who make the swap say the ride quality is equal or better for how they actually drive. The 6.2 has AFM, same as the 5.3. Same $270 disabler fixes it. Same day one protocol we've covered in other videos. The rest of the drivetrain, transmission, transfer case, axles, frame is identical to the base Sierra. There's nothing Denali specific in the mechanicals that makes it more expensive to maintain. Here's your Denali buying checklist. First, test the magnetic ride. Push down hard on each corner of the truck and release. It should rebound once and settle. If it bounces twice or more, the shocks are blown and you're looking at a replacement. Second, check the interior wear points. The leather steering wheel on GMT900 Denalis peels after 100,000 miles. The dash develops cracks near the defroster vents. Both are cosmetic and cheap to fix with a cover or dash mat. Third, check the 6.2 for oil consumption the same way you'd check a 5.3. Pull the dipstick, look at the level relative to the last change, and check for blue smoke on cold start. A healthy 6.2 burns minimal oil. Anything excessive means the AFM lifters may need attention, but again, the disabler prevents future damage. Here's the comparison that proves the gold mine. A 2012 Sierra SLE 5.3 four-wheel drive with 100,000 miles, $14,000 to $18,000. A 2012 Yukon Denali 6.2 all-wheel drive with 120,000 miles, $13,000 to $18,000. For the same money, sometimes less, you get 60 extra horsepower, magnetic ride, full leather, cooled seats, and a vehicle that was typically maintained by someone who could afford a $65,000 truck. Denali buyers service at dealers. They keep records, they garage their vehicles. The ownership profile is your best friend when buying used. The depreciation math is the real story. That 2012 Yukon Denali stickered at $63,000 to $68,000 new. At $15,000 today, previous owners absorbed 75% of the depreciation. You're buying the last 25% of the truck's value with potentially 50% or more of its mechanical life remaining. That's not a used truck. That's a wealth transfer. $70,000 worth of truck for $15,000. That's not a used vehicle. That's a wealth transfer. 5 trucks, all sitting on used lots right now, all priced thousands below what they're actually capable of, because the market is too busy filtering for the same crew cab Sierra that every other buyer wants. The pattern is simple. When everyone searches for the same thing, the price goes up. When nobody searches for something, the price stays low. And the truck doesn't know the difference. The Canyon doesn't tow less because it's unpopular. The Yukon XL doesn't lose a cylinder because nobody searched for it. The double cab doesn't lose payload because it has one less door. The value is in the gap between what the market pays attention to and what the truck actually does. If you want to know which engine to put in that Goldmine truck, watch The Only GMC Engine Worth Buying in 2026. That's the companion to this video. Match the right truck to the right powertrain. And if you want the 5 cheap upgrades to install the day you buy it, watch 5 cheap GMC upgrades everyone ignores. Goldmines. Same format, same value. Stop filtering the same way everyone else does. That's how you find the gold mine. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.